Yo, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? Anyway, just being silly for a moment. But this is a time to also be serious, but really more so to be aware, be flexible, be prepared, be committed. And because of all of that and all these shifts and changes right now, I want to invite you again to connect with me. I have many ways to assist during a time like this with transformation, spiritual discipline, willpower, and making the changes and shifts you want to make and making the most of a time like this when you aren't able to do the same routines you usually do, but you still know it's time to make progress and you need to water the seeds you've already planted. Contact me, naturallyhighlife.com, or leave me a message. Peace, what's going on? This is Queen Sarita coming at you with another documenting my life journey. This is like a good time because it's so quiet right now, but I wanted to talk to you about how you can train your wounded warrior. Now, this wounded warrior could be yourself, or it could be somebody else. It could be somebody you know, or it could be somebody that you don't know. The message in this that I want to give is that whatever a person is experiencing, whatever they're going through, like right now I have a small cough. It's about not giving too much energy to the thing. It's about not feeding the fears. It's about, if somebody is not feeling their best, how can you empower them versus, keeping them sick? There's many people that keep themselves sick, keep other people sick. And there's ways to express wellness. There's ways to wellness, direct roads to wellness. But sometimes we don't want to try anything new. Sometimes people don't want to do something that's going to help them break out of patterns that they've been experiencing, that they've been torturing themselves with, basically. There's a lot of imbalances in wellness. And I'm a holistic healer. I'm not a doctor. But what I've seen is patterns come up, and then people will exacerbate things, or they'll exaggerate the details of something, and it doesn't even have to be that way. But we don't realize the power of our words. All right. For instance, I'm bringing this up because this cough, I'm drinking some throat coat by Traditional Medicinals. This tea is good, and also the Gypsy Cold Care one is good too, and the Echinacea one. And I'm taking Golden Seal and Echinacea, as well as I'm going to have some bladderwrack and sea moss. And what I do know is keeping the honey down to a minimum is best for my type of body. For other people, it may be all right. But things that are high glycemic, they don't really help out with getting rid of mucus in the body a lot of times. And I mean, that includes fruit too. For certain people, too much fruit, high sugary things, whether it's considered healthy or not from nature, is either not good for them or not. And the reason, a lot of times, this stuff is GMO'd, stuff is being industrialized, it's being made in a lab sometimes. You don't know. So the body's having to adapt in a different way. But what supersedes everything, no matter what, neuroscience, the ability to use our spoken word, the written word, our thoughts, how we feel to bring about the type of reality that we want. For instance, like when I don't feel my best, or if I know somebody else doesn't feel their best, a loved one or someone, I don't encourage them to just be laying around all day, Because usually if you can get the body moving, you can get out and do something, you can get some sunlight, you can get some water. If you can just take a step, then a step is a step in the right direction. A step is a step upward. So that's what I encourage, water. Not cold water. People will have mucus in their body and they don't know why they stay sick also. They'll be out with no shirt on, minimal clothes. When you have mucus in the body, you need to warm the body. Because the body is warm by nature, we're not cold-blooded. And this needs to be pretty much most of the time. If you look at Chinese medicine, they'll let you know a lot of times keep your body warm. You don't want to be in extreme temperatures without being able to protect your body. But if you end up doing that, or if you are having your shirt off, or if you are drinking a bunch of cold water, ice cold water, adding ice to it and all that, some people are fine with that. Some people's constitutions can deal with it. Other people, this is detrimental. And what it does is it locks up the liquids that are in the body that have to do with like mucus and stuff. Because mucus, when it's cold, it's going to solidify. It's going to get gelatinous. It's gonna go into a gel type of, or it gets gooey and thick, and that's what I mean. So that's what it's gonna do in the body, and it means it stays in there longer. Plus you have to cough it up. So right now I've got a little bit left and I will cough that up, but this is from me. I know dang well, but I had like a couple of M&Ms, y'all. I had like maybe 9 M&Ms or something. I counted them out. Then the other day I messed around, I had 3. And I was like, let me see what this does in my body. Even honey, just a little bit of honey, it thickens back up in the body if your body isn't as warm as it can be. So the key I've found holistically is keeping the temperature up a little bit hotter. Some people may be a bit comfortable in the house. I'm going to get back to talking about, how to train your wounded warrior, because this has to do with that. A lot of times people will not feel their best, but they want to go into the mode of being like a baby again. And so, yes, of course you're not going to be able to go to work. Of course you're not going to be able to do the normal tasks that you are able to do, because that's going to require an adult. So if you go into baby mode or something, a lot of times it's showing some sort of pattern or sign of something that may not have been, gotten or received when you were younger that you may feel like you need. So the key to that is giving yourself more self-love, more pampering, and not looking for other people to do it for you because they can't. It's like you want to teach people how to do these things for themselves, because at the end of the day, the beginning of the day, what happens at the end of the year, after so many months, the person is going to be with themselves. They're the ones that need to be able to take care of their vehicle that they're walking around in ultimately. Like the deepest care you need to know how to do. Or you need to be able to schedule it, set it up, do some bartering, plan it, imagine it, and feel you deserve it. Many times people don't feel they deserve to give themselves this extra care. But training your wounded warrior, people have been wounded for a number of reasons. Black people, melanated people are connected to people that have been seriously wounded. However, there's many levels that you can identify with this existence and this reality. There's many levels to this game of life. But one thing that does remain the same, and I'm feeling very confident in this because I've been testing it out over the years with clients and family and friends and myself. What you think about, you do bring about. How you feel determines the type of experience you're going to a lot of times have in life. And the reason why it may not seem that way is because people don't tell you what their thoughts are. They don't tell you a lot of times exactly what they're feeling. A lot of times they may not know how to decipher it themselves, which is why somebody like me, a holistic healer, a metaphysical practitioner, and someone who is an ordained minister and trained in the holistic way of living life. Everything's connected, everything's interconnected. So the way of balance, that's what I'm a lot of times teaching and remembering for myself, is that when I do things in a more balanced way, I'm good. But yeah, if you go over there and you eat the whole, bag of something that already is not the healthiest thing for you, you go and eat all of that, then you'll keep going back over and over again. I watch people will keep going back and giving themselves poisons, but then they expect wellness. Or they're identifying a lot of times with lower vibrational things and ideas and thoughts and whatever. And they forget to bring themselves into a space of high vibration. So, your instrument, your body, you got to give it a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Which is why I don't say people need to stop eating vegetables or meat or whatever. Do what is good for your body. There's a different way of eating for everyone's body. So, training your wounded warrior is giving them ways to be empowered on their own. Also, moving out of the way and letting them take care of themselves like they know how to do when nobody is there. And I'm not talking about little babies, y'all. I'm talking about grown people. I'm talking about even, teenagers and children. They can be taught how to do certain things, make a cup of tea, but something that's going to be bringing more balance to their life and their body. And being consistent. And being, this really does require a certain level of mindfulness. It does. And it does require a bit of, care. Like there has to be some care there for you to actually take the steps to do this. So the other thing is speaking words of, I look forward to seeing you well. I see nothing but wellness for you. I see you getting well soon. Not I hope. No, we don't leave any room for doubt. Anytime you leave the room for doubt, the human will play with that and turn it into something that a lot of times it doesn't want. So speak what you want. If you want to see the person feeling well, send them blessings from afar. You don't even have to tell them. But for people that are, wounded warriors, and they're going into these cycles of wanting somebody to nurture them, to care for them, there's nothing wrong with that. But be an example of it more. Show them how to do it for themselves. Detach more. And give yourself a chance to get better. Look at the bright side. Speak words of wellness. For instance, if I'm not feeling my absolute best, somebody might be like, oh, you're sick. I'd be like, nope, I could feel a bit better. You know what I'm saying? It's in the words. Now, for somebody else, they may be able to say they're sick and all that and still feel empowered. For me, that doesn't work very well. So I am using words that keep me open to getting better in every single moment. At any moment, it can change. And sometimes, the biggest thing people need that they don't give themselves is a break from thinking, from doing stuff for other people. They don't give themselves a break to take a nap, to rest. They're not getting their sleep. And they're constantly looking for somebody to validate where they are in life and, how they feel. If you're not paying for that service, then you're going to have to, if people aren't paying for this and they're wounded warriors and stuff, and they're wounded and they keep going, they're just reliving trauma a lot of times. Then show them how you do it real quick and then keep it moving. And then sometimes, a lot of times when people aren't feeling their best, they're not the nicest either. And sometimes our perception could be off too, but that's why I find a lot of times people need space. They need time to relax, to breathe, to take a rest their body. All of the answers that people need is within themselves anyway. So if you'll step aside, if you'll give them the tea, the warm, water, give, a blanket, or if they need, to take a moment, let them take a moment. Their alignment doesn't a lot of times happen through just another person. Unless that's your gig, your thing you do. Like, I'm a psychic reader, and I do all this stuff. I talk to people about how they feel, their emotions, the depths of why something is happening, how they can change it, how they can live their best life, how they can improve their life. But these people are paying me to do that. And then other people, I'm just doing it because this is what I do in my business. But if you all follow naturallyhighlife.com, I just want to say thank you for listening to this. But just remember also, there's a finite amount of energy in the day. Like, we have a lot of energy, but these bodies, they need a little rest. So, when you see these people in your life, or it may be yourself, sometimes just take a breather and do something different. If you know you've been eating a bunch of the wrong things, then stop doing it and give the body a rest. Fasting has been working wonders. Intermittent fasting, cutting down on the sugar, being more mindful, being positive, helps so much. All right, peace.